Hello there, Mindshakers.
Welcome to another episode of the Mindshack podcast.
This podcast has been developing and going beyond our expectations.
And we would like to thank you for your continual support.
That's all. We hope you enjoyed today's episode.
Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. Welcome to Season 2, Episode 7 of Mindshack. So Mindshack is a Gen Z podcast that focuses on discussing societal issues, entrepreneurial leadership, and borders on topics in psychology for Africans. Please do check us out on our social media at mind_shack_, specifically Instagram, where we will be giving you all our updates. But for today's episode, we will be talking about African love and relationships. And to do so, I'm going to be having an amazing co-host with me. I'll let her introduce herself.
Hey guys, this is your girl Rudo Gumbo. I'm back and I'm better. And I'm so excited to be hosting this with Tina. I actually have a strong feeling that this is going to go down as one of my favorite episodes. I mean, I'm here with such lovely ladies that I love and talking about one of the greatest gifts Earth could ever have, love. So yeah, I'm very excited.
Love that, Rudo. I'm also thinking that this may be my favorite. We also do have a guest with us. She is charming, she's lovely, she's fabulous. Let her introduce herself as well.
Thank you so much, Tina and Rudo, for the beautiful introduction. Hi, everyone. My name is Alia Iqbal, and I'm so honored to be a guest host here at Mindshack. I'm usually the one who is facilitating podcasts and stuff. So today it's good to be on the backside and, get the questions and get my thoughts out there. So my name is Alia Iqbal, like I said, Alia. Oh yeah, that's sort of like a rhyme, but anyways, yeah. I'm a third year electrical power systems engineering student at the African Leadership University in Mauritius. And the reason why I'm so excited to talk about African love is because it's love. And of course, I'm in love currently, but that's beside the point. Or why I was so interested and excited to be invited into this episode of Mindshack was because of everything that's going on in the continent, and we can see that our continent is literally bleeding and there's so many things. It's always one crazy episode after the other, and I believe the one uniting factor that can unite us as Africans on the continent is love.
Thanks, Alia. That's so true. I definitely think this would be an awesome time to just finally talk about something a little bit light, a little bit upbringing, because things have been really hectic on the continent, like you mentioned. And I'd like to start off by just asking you guys, when you think of African love, like what comes to mind?
For me, African love, so I did some research, okay, and I've been reading a book by Brené Brown that's called The Gifts of Imperfection. So when I was reading the book, I came across this quote on love, and please let me quote it. It says that love is the most important thing in our lives, a passion for which we would fight or die, and yet we are reluctant to linger over its names. Without a supple vocabulary, we can't even talk or think about it directly. I'm Diane Ankerman. So this is a quote that I found about love, and I think it sums up what I think about love. For me, when I think about African love, I think the first thing that comes into my mind is belonging, being compassion, laughter, joyfulness, sacrifice, and so on and so forth. So for me, I feel love brings out so many things within us as human beings scientifically, but I feel in the context of African love, for me, I mix love with music. I think of food when I think of love. So that's basically the first few things that come into my mind when I think about African love.
Yes, love that. I also want to hear Rudo's perspective on what African love is to her.
When I think of African love, I just have this whole movie perspective of, this couple under a tree. They still high school sweethearts, But I truly think I share the same sentiment, as Aliyah. I think African love has a lot to do with sacrifice. I also think of food. I think of compassion, laughter, and just a lot of joyfulness. You know what I mean? So for me, African love is not really complex. It's actually so simple. I feel like for most Africans, it's a way for them to escape from, reality. I know there's like a stereotype that African men are not like soft or vulnerable, but I feel like I've seen most cases where love gives African men an opportunity to be vulnerable and actually showcase that soft side. So for me, African love that's African love in a nutshell.
Beautiful again. I completely love your views, guys. And okay, so yeah, back to Aaliyah. Let me now ask, when you were describing African love with many adjectives, I think the ones that specifically came out to me was compassion and sacrifice. Are those certain beliefs that you were taught about African love, or is it something that like you've seen over time and you've grown to learn and understand?
I think for me, why I chose, I'm sure there's like an oxymoron that there are one positive and one negative when it comes to African love, being compassion and sacrifice. For me, these are things that I've been taught when growing up, or like seeing my parents go through these things and actually seeing them sacrifice things for me and my twin, and also just in the journey of life as I've been on this earth and I've been able to experience things with different people. I've been able to tie my love for people mainly through these two things, mainly through compassion and through sacrifice, be it sacrifice of my time, of my money, of my, energy at that particular moment, or of my food sometimes. I think that's the main reason why I chose sacrifice and compassion to share my thoughts on African love.
That makes a lot of sense. And I think actually, like, to link it with what Ruda was talking about in terms of also music and also food, there are different components to love that makes it a very complex and beautiful thing. And that's why I also want to ask you, Rudo, what do you think are the main specific ways that love is expressed in Africa?
I think Aaliyah mentioned a brilliant point in the beginning, music. So Africans love music. We're quite creative people. So I think art is a beautiful way that we express our love as Africans. So I don't know, there are like countless love songs from Africa alone, countless art pieces, poetry that are just dedicated to love, whether platonic or romantic. So those, I feel like art is the key word here. Art is how Africans display their love.
I honestly think that you encapsulated that like beautifully. I really do think we're a very artistic nation. Like we found more passive ways to express our emotions because the African culture is a little bit conservative, and I think we're not necessarily the type to use words and lots of we're more affectionate with other passive ways. So yes, I think art is definitely a strong point. But now, Rudo, let me just ask you a question. Are there any other things that you're thinking about or questioning about African love?
What makes me think is that what's different from now, let's say the 21st century and the 20th century. What do you think love has evolved? This can go for anyone. Do you think love has evolved over time, and how so?
My thoughts are love has evolved. It really has. Okay, in my opinion, I might not know the exact dates or the exact times that it's actually evolved, but I feel that how we speak about love now, and let's say even 20 years ago, it's totally different. And the forms of love and the types of love that are out there. For me, 20 years ago, love was more you being in your family, you cutting your birthday cake and enjoying with your family, or your mom, you having an argument with your mom, and for her to make up with you, she calls you for food, like your food is ready, come to the table. And that still goes on today, but I can say love, it's like we're more informed about different aspects of love, especially when it comes to the LGBTQ community. I know it was there in the past, but now it's more extenuated. There are more, rallies going on about these things. There's more awareness. There's more publicity. There are more countries are open to more of these policies, and they're accepting them, which is something good. And I feel like it's giving Africans were known to be traditional, to be stuck in our ways, not to be rigid to some extent. But it's interesting to see especially the African love space evolve. I think also when we talk about love, I could touch upon the love for the continent. I feel like, especially in these few weeks or few months, especially during this COVID-19 period, that the love for Africa has sort of, it's bittersweet, but you can see that people are actually coming together and the love for each other. Like there's no time for, tribal lines or like there was before. Like now, whenever I've been going on Twitter and I've been seeing people talking about tribes and people like, no, we have to put that aside. We're all one. We're all fighting for one cause. We're all, one people. So it's good to see people actually trying to, get back to that sort of unity through the love. And it's sad that we are getting back to unity. Suffering and sacrifice has brought us to love each other and back to that unity. But I feel as Africans, maybe this is something that we needed to realize, we needed to experience together in order to make us stronger.
You spoke about the hard times that we're going through currently, and I personally believe that love is what's binding us together. The fact that I in South Africa can reach out to my brothers and sisters in Nigeria or Congo, for me that's a symbol of love. And for me, love is also rooted in humility, and I believe Africans have this strong core value of humility, of, treat your neighbor how you want to be treated, which I think is such a beautiful thing. What I really appreciate about Africans also is that we lend a helping hand. And that, for me, that's love. Knowing that I can always rely on my neighbor or, a friend of some sort is beautiful to me. So another question that I have is around Valentine's Day. Do you think that Valentine's Day is celebrated in Africa? Is it relevant for our culture, or do you think we celebrate love every day?
Right now, we're going to a quick break. This break is one to say thank you. Thank you to you, our listener, for your feedback, for engaging with our podcast on our various social media as we work to improve and incorporate it. We urge you to continue to do so as we set sail. Thank you very much. We hope you enjoy the rest of the episode.
I think we celebrate love every day, but for me, as I've grown older, I've seen the importance of people actually, celebrating Valentine's Day. Like I remember one day I was in uni, here in Nairobi before I came to AOU, and I was doing a short course, and then it was Valentine's Day, and legit half of the school was in red, and I wasn't understanding, was there a memo that was dropped, or people were being serenaded in school, in the classroom, like we're being taught, and then knock knock, someone comes in, a group of boys comes and serenades a girl, gives her flowers. Everyone is thinking, oh my gosh, when is it going to be my turn? Does anyone here love me? All those things. So I think over the years as I've grown older, I don't know if it's because love is something that we in our years right now, in our youth, basically our 20s, something that people think that we should be thinking about. Because when you go to a family gathering, there's that aunt who's always asking you, okay, so now where's your boyfriend, or when are you getting married, or that. I don't know if it's the time, but I think also in AOU, like that's when people are willing to do Valentine packages, and student life is best dressed for Valentine's, come out, let's watch this movie together, and so on and so forth. So I think before, when I was 6 or when I was 5, Valentine, seriously, like I'd rather go and play and get dirt in the mud, or build that castle, or play that game, than actually think about Valentine's. I think as I've grown older, of course my interests have changed, and now love is something that's sort of pivotal in a way. The sense of, actually not even love, the sense of belonging and trying to figure out who you want to be as a person. And we all have those 3-year, 5-year, 10-year goals, and of course most of us, love is there, and finding a loved one, and moving in together. I'm always on YouTube actually watching proposals. Gosh, watching proposals, and I'm in the middle of the night and saying, oh my gosh, I hope my fiance can actually do so. I hope he better make sure that my nails are done before he actually proposes. I always have those like fantasies in my head. So I feel like it's, for me in my lifetime, like the way I thought about love 10 years ago, 15 years ago is not the same way I'm thinking about it now, because now it's a time that we're adulting, and it's now it's like it's societal pressure that it's your love time, your love clock is ticking.
I believe that to a certain extent, African love is connotated with struggle, with pain, you know, um, mainly because of like distance. Some could even be race, you know, like I can't be with my partner because we separated because of race, etc., or age, or parents won't allow us, you know, those type of things. So, do you think we have any African love couple or like African couples that we can look up to in this century or in this decade rather?
For me, I really don't keep up with different celebrities or know what's going around the continent when it comes to love. Because here in the Nairobi scene, let me just speak for where we are. It's always like people get married, there's a big wedding, and then 2 to 3 years down the line, people have gone on Twitter and they're bashing each other, or they're on YouTube and they're bashing each other, and you're wondering, okay, I thought you guys had a fairy tale wedding a few years ago, and you found it all on social media. So I really don't have like a certain couple that I say I'd look up to. But for me, I really resonated with the point when you said that African love is related to struggle a lot. And I remember why I'm saying this, because I remember a few days ago, like with everything that's going on in Africa, I actually sat down with my parents and I was telling my mom, I was like, Mom, were we really born to suffer? And I was watching this video that Ama Ata Aido said, and she said that she was talking to a presenter from the West, and she was saying that you guys, for the past 500 years, you've taken so much from us, and you still continue taking. If it's not our platinum, if it's not our gold, and so on, but you still keep on taking. And then she said, you're still not stopped. And then the reporter asked her, will you have it in your heart to ever forgive us? And then she said, it's not for us to forgive you. It's you guys are not failed. You're just taking what you guys need for your betterment and to make your quality of lives better. Now the buck stops with us, in the sense that we need to, as Africans, be able to protect ourselves more, be able to love ourselves to the extent where we're able to protect, our natural resources, we're able to protect our traditions, we're able to protect our, our philosophies and so on. With all this struggle that has been going on, and for me right now, thinking about African love and the way forward, I was like, if I truly love my country and my people, and if we truly love each other, and if we truly love our continent to make it better for generations to come, then it's high time we come together and actually put measures in place that will help us change our different countries and our continent as a whole into the continent we'd like to live in.
Yeah, I wanted to actually emphasize on the point you made earlier about love kind of being seen as, like, I call it struggle love. That's what's been emphasized lately, like even just in terms of like relationships, for us to bring in relationships. I think why I'm struggling to find a couple to look up to is because most couples embody struggle love, like where there's some type of huge challenge that they've overcome together, or I don't know, the man is not completely committed to the woman, or the woman is feeling like she's settling for the man. That sometimes I think I struggle to really want love in that way, because like I don't want struggle love. So I'm not sure if that's a naive mentality that I have, being young and not as experienced as some people are in romantic love. But I think it's also just because there's definitely that difference in what in how people viewed relationships, like in previous generations to right now. I definitely say, like, in the past it was like, you have wahala, I have wahala, let's just deal with this wahala together. Whereas I feel like now, my generation, a lot of people are trying to make each other perfect, which can be a good thing, because now people are more accountable and are actually having to deal with their issues. But at the same time, I think there's that aspect of like, nobody's really ready to commit to what it looks like to be with another, like, human being that has imperfections and has issues. So I guess I haven't found a couple that's in between those two, who's ride or die like previous African generations, and who's also like focusing on healing and focusing on being better versions of themselves. So in that way, I think Africans can do better. I think we can talk more about love. I think we can continue to like clap for those people who are doing well in love, or even try to identify what we all agree love looks like.
Absolutely. I am 100% with you. I don't want struggle love at all. I need a smooth sailing love. But obviously, we have to be realistic, and there will be challenges, that comes with love. But I think above all, we have to be on the same page. We have to be on the same page. And, you opened a can of worms around commitment. Ooh, child, that is one topic. We might talk about this for days and days. But I feel like, I think from generation to generation, couples or relationships, there's been a commitment issue. I think for now, the fact that we are in this age where, there's technology, there's DMs that we can screenshot, things are more exposed around commitment. But I think since it's more exposed, we talk about it more, and people fear love more. Including myself. There's moments where I think, oh my gosh, I can be in this beautiful relationship, but then I think about the negative things about it, like the downfall, the commitment that comes with it, and knowing that people, not everyone's loyal, not everyone wants to be in a relationship for the right reasons. But I think the day that you find someone who's not in love with the concept of love, ideally, but is in love with you, would be the day you're set, in my opinion.
Oh my goodness, can we please say that again? The day you find somebody who's not necessarily in love with love but in love with you is the day that you'll be happy. So amen to that, amen to that. I think yeah, we definitely need to restructure how we see love, because my personal definition of love is the extent to which you can extend oneself for another. It's definitely based on Christian values, but that's how I see love. And in that way, I would say that most African cultures are very romantic in that way. If you look at the role of the woman in the household, it is literally to extend herself so that the house is thriving. The woman is the heart of the family. If you look at men, although the perspective of the man being the provider is starting to diminish over time, but the man loves the family through extending himself to provide. So I definitely think that African cultures are romantic, but there is some influence from the West, which I would say their perspective of love is a lot more of the words, is a lot more of gifting, is a lot more of, I would say, more showy love, which is necessary, and I think it's great for people to express their love, and have days like Valentine's Day where you focus solely on love and just give love like that. But I do think we might have started to discredit what selfless love looks like, and how important it is to have people around you and in society which are thinking about others in that way. What do you think are some misconceptions about African love?
I think for me, one big misconception about African love is the fact that you need to show that you're strong. You need to show that you have to be worthy for African love at that particular moment. And I feel love and worthiness go hand in hand in the sense, because we all have this notion where we think that there are prerequisites to love when we base it on worthiness. For example, you'll be worthy if you lose those 20 pounds, or you'll be worthy if you can stay sober, or maybe some parents, I'll be worthy if everyone thinks I'm a good parent, or I'll be worthy when I make partner at this big farm, or I'll be worthy of love if my parents can finally approve of, how my life is going, and so on and so forth. So I think it's good to actually think of love in the sense that you're worthy at the moment. Worthy now, not if, not when, and we're worthy of love and belonging right now. So I think that's one misconception, that we need to actually achieve something for others to love us, or we need to be at a certain point in our lives for others to love us. And I think that's what actually holds many people back to actually true love and to experiencing wholehearted love. Another thing I feel is people basing their current situation on past situations or past experiences or other people's past experiences. Like, oh my gosh, it didn't work out between so and so. Right now I have this person who really loves me. Oh my gosh, will it work out? Will it be the same case as so and so? So that fear and that anxiety of something not working out, or you already preempting that it's not going to work out, and you already feeling sad before the sadness even comes, So, and that's one thing that actually bars people from actually loving wholly or being loved wholly. I think it's just to let things be. Take it a day at a time. Be yourself, be worthy, and just know that you're worthy today, tomorrow. Like, you're worthy from today. You don't have to accomplish something to be worthy of that love. You don't have to be seen a certain way by someone to be worthy of that love. You don't have to impress this person, or if someone really doesn't like you for who you are, then honestly they should just, okay, my saying, people say I'm dramatic, but one of my sayings is, if you cannot come correct, step to the left. And people make fun of me by saying that, you should put that on a t-shirt, it will work perfectly for you. So for me, if someone can't come correct, like, towards you, imagine there's no beef, there's no hard feelings, like, we'll just move, and maybe it wasn't meant to be.
Let us even just stop there. I know you guys are loving this, but we do have to stop. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. I have thoroughly enjoyed talking about African love. I would like to shout out Rudo and Aliyah for bringing gems on gems on gems. But otherwise, thank you guys so much for listening to us. And see ya! Wow, you listened through to the end? Thank you!
Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at mind_shack_.
And if you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe on your preferred podcast platform, or all of them.
There's going to be more exciting episodes to come.
So, see you on the next one.